I can't say no to free money, so I've decided it's time to lock in. I'm gonna poke around, file some yield farming opportunities as well as airdrop. Now, people say that could be worth to an upwards of six figures. Well, only time will tell though. The first one was an absolute banger. Hyperliquid is a layer 1 blockchain, also known as L1. So, HyperEVM was built by the same guys behind Hyperliquid, the on chain perpetuals exchange. Most people would think HyperEVM is actually an L2, but it's actually its own L1. Low hanging fruit would be to buy spot hype and then stake it with the Nansen validator and also deposit a good chunk of your budget into the HLP wall already covered in this video. So I would suggest you first watch this. Look to the top right corner of the screen or scroll down in the description. We stake with the Nansen validator as they also have a points program that is live right now. Anyways, starting with bridging onto Hyper EVM from any other blockchain, we're gonna use Hyperunit. Or if you want more convenience, you're free to use DeBridge, although I wouldn't recommend it. They charge higher fees and also you would be losing your chance to earn a potential Hyperunit airdrop. Anyways, seems like we can just choose Bitcoin, Ethereum or Solana. We connect the wallet and deposit at least zero point 0.2 Sol from the Solana mainnet, or you can also scan the QR code. And then after we've done that, we go back and do the staking deposit into the walls, and you'll be seeing your balance right here, and you can just click and it'll be transferred to the connected EVM address. So now that we have our funds on the actual EVM chain, let's start interacting with the dApps, starting with Hyperswap. Seems like your typical DeFi platform. We have the swap feature from Hype. We have couple wrap tokens, stable coins, and a bunch of DeFi tokens along with meme coins that we can swap. We also have liquidity pools, and the APR doesn't look quite that bad. We have quite a few options here with varying rates and fees. And then we have the option to stake our assets, and then obviously we have points earned. Oh, one thing just before that, I don't want to mention it every single time. I'm gonna leave all the links for the dApps I'm using down in the description, so feel free to use those links. It'll be very appreciated. Oh, and we also have a bridge feature directly in Hyperswap. Seems like this is using DeBridge in the backend. I'm not entirely sure though, but well, Hyperswap is pretty cool. The next one, which is Felix, quite different from Hyperswap. Now, a lot of people I know are very bullish on this and are farming this very aggressively. Seems like it's gonna show our balance here in the spot, in the pubs, and in the EVM. Pretty cool. Point section, you can spot sell, spot buy, unwrap WHYPE, which is basically converts wrapped hype back to native token. We can bridge back and forth from Hyper EVM to Hypercore, and that is FEUSD. I'm more interested in USDHL though. Seems like we have quite a few options, so we can basically lend or trade this pair on Hypercore, or we can add liquidity on all these different positions. Okay, what is vanilla? Vanilla borrowing, deposit collateral, borrow stables or high powered by Morpho. Oh, okay. So we can just basically lend and borrow using Morpho in the backend in the CDP section, and stability pool should be the same as lending, I assume. Okay, some things are already popping up in my head after looking at Felix. But now let's hop on to Hyperlend. I'm gonna skip the tour. Alright, confirm, connect wallet. Again, we have the option to transfer from Hypercore to HyperEVM. Pretty nice. You can supply and also borrow these assets, which will show your positions here in the dashboard. We can also borrow against the Hypercore assets. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. You're one of the elite who managed. What the hell? I don't know what's wrong, but if this works, this is actually pretty cool. Okay, we have wrapped HLP. Now, what they basically are doing here is allowing you to deposit into HLP, which we've talked about at the beginning of the video, and then giving you a transferable DeFi compatible token, which allows you to basically use that token to go and do other DeFi activities with. Providing the liquidities available on Swap as well as Hyperswap. Looping collective incentives. By minting WHLP, you're also entitled to the incentive rewards distributed by the Looping Collective. Who is Looping Collective? Stake loop unlock reward multipliers is the token flywheel behind LHYPE, WHLP, and every future liquid looping token. Okay, so they are behind LHYPE and WHLP, and the Loop Collective is what allows us to do all these looping strategies with. We have the points system. Okay, I like this platform. But the next platform though is HyperFi, which I'm pretty damn sure already have their token. And here you can see you can get an extra 5% points on HyperFi by entering a code here. I'll leave all this in the description below. Hopping onto the main platform themselves, we can quickly deposit and borrow. In the dashboard, we have the health factor and a quick look at our position. Let's hop onto the markets. Almost 248 million. That's quite a lot of money, huh? Let's see. We have WSD hype here. So that is staked hype. Okay, some strategies are popping up in my mind. I'm gonna take you through them in just a second. We can swap and obviously we can transfer. Seems like almost all the dApps have this feature. Okay, so one thing that I see is that we can take hype, transfer that into staked hype. We can then lend it on Hyperlend or any other platform and then use this as collateral to borrow more hype and then basically do all of this again, which I find is a good looping strategy between 1 to 3 different protocols. And on Felix here, I think we can just directly go into the USDHL rewards section and then basically do all of this. And for Hyperswap, obviously trading or swapping is one of the things that we can do. Helping here is also an option. And I'm not entirely sure about HyperFi, so we'll see. Now this whole thing is apart from already deposit staking and providing into the HLP. And oh yeah, we can also do the WHLP thing. That also seems to be quite a nice thing. It just depends which you are bullish on personally and which ones you want to max farm for the airdrop. If you have a lot of capital, obviously you can just farm all the protocols, try to farm all the protocols, and because of that, you're gonna make more money from the airdrops. For the ones that will maybe have only like 1,000 to 10,000 bucks to deposit onto HyperEVM, it's important to manage your capital efficiently. Now let's hop on to the remaining protocols, starting with Hyperstable. We can borrow. Oh, and we have quite some liquidity pools here. Okay, Curve Finance making an appearance. Okay, we obviously have Hyperswap. That is neat. Again, we have another transfer feature. Swap, we can manage the LP. We can also stake the liquidity. Oh, okay, so once we get the LP token, we can stake it. I wonder what that does. The APR is quite good though. We also have the lock feature, which I think is probably for the peg token. Is peg related to Hyperstable in any way? I think it's their airdrop token. Yeah, it just makes sense. Let's check their Twitter just to make sure. And yes, there we go. It was done last week actually. But that was airdrop to the top 4,000 Hyper EVM users, not just the Hyperstable users. Interesting. Now I wonder if I should use this platform. Also, I do not like the UI of how this looks, but we'll see. But that's just the case with this. The next one I'm gonna show, it's gonna be neat. Before I show you that though, let me just make sure that you subscribe because I want you to miss out on free money. I'm gonna drop detailed step-by-step guides on Hyper EVM using different tabs for yield as well as for airdrops. So make sure you subscribe and let's hop on to Hyperdrive, which doesn't seem to load. There we go. Oh wait, do we have more networks? No. Primary USDE market, a yield bearing wall where users supply USDC, which is then made available to borrowers. Again, a lending and borrowing platform, but 9.4% for a stable coin, I assume, since it has USDE in the name, is quite good. And also, you're gonna earn 20x the points for ENA rewards. Well, that is fancy. And 2x the rewards for Hyperdrive. And for USDTO or USDT0 or whatever the fuck that is, we are gonna earn 3x the points. That's nice. The remaining are kind of shit. Okay, so basically, this is a very simple borrow and lending platform, and I like it. Nice. It's quite good and quite easy to navigate. And seems like they still haven't done cooking, so we can expect a couple new features from them. Hopping onto Hyperbloom, they are yet another platform that wants to be the Jupiter of Hyper EVM. The meaning they are a DEX aggregator. We can choose to look at the chart or hide it. We have all the options of tokens to swap from, which is good. It's simple, it's nice, and seems like it's still in beta. And what do you see? That's points section. So you basically earn points for using Hyperbloom. Checking the stats, it's 11.5 million USD, which is awesome. But the world seems to have only 330 438. The DEX aggregator, and in the past 24 hours, there's 411K, 7 days, 2 million. That's good considering they only launched this month. Oh, and as a bonus, you can consider getting a HL name, which might or might not help you with an airdrop, but just keep in mind none of this is official and seems like it runs on a auction based system. And here's the ecosystem part where you can use your .hl name. Nice. Now there are two very important things take into consideration before you drop your money. Number one, stay tuned for detailed guides. But number two, this is actually very important, and that is rug pulls. You see, HyperEVM is a new thing, and there are a lot of good teams that want to build good stuff, but there are also a lot of people with low ethics who wants to just launch something new, hype it up, and then take your money and just get lost. Now, it can happen on any blockchain, so you need to keep this in mind and deploy your funds safely and only use the money you can afford to lose. It's the next day, and I have even more apps to explore, but even then, I'm probably not going to cover everything, so you have to wait for the detailed guides. First up, we have Valentis. It's one of those that looks promising. Launch the app. Okay, so we can deposit the hype and maintain hype LP. That's cool. Hyper 5 points. Okay. Oh, there we go. Until June 19. Since then, LPs are now earning 3x points only on the hype in lending protocol. So I guess this is the only place we have to see what this about. Okay, this seems pretty simple. We just have to deposit hype and we're good to go. So let's move on to Hyperbase, another one which looks promising. Seems like the point section here is a heart which beats, and that is pretty cool. Hyperfolio, which is your portfolio. Let's go into the earn section where we have some vaults with up to 10.53% in APY, and we also earn rewards for all these at the same time. So that's pretty cool. Hyperbeat USDT. We deposit USDT 0 or USDE. Assets are dynamically managed to provide the best risk adjusted return. You earn yields and rewards, and we also have MorphoBeat was powered by Morpho. Now I'm not really into this, not only because it's from Morpho, but it only rewards us with the Hyperbeat points or the Hyperbeat hearts. And I don't want to focus on Morpho because it's available on 19 chains. It's got the whole EVM stack. That means HyperEVM as a single chain would probably not have a huge effect or influence on their TGE. So let's skip that. And also I've found some other different strategies, including the dApps that we've seen yesterday or before in the video. So I'm gonna go through them. Once I take a look at Upshift Finance, which they say is by August. I've never heard of them. Launch the app. Whoa, what did I see? 5x the points boost. Let's see what other ways we have to earn. Okay, it's available on ETH, AVAX, Base, BNB, and HyperEVM. So it's not necessary that we only deposit into the HyperEVM chain for farming this. HyperEVM is giving us 6% APY, which is below Ethereum and AVAX strategies. And these are the strategies that are going to earn the yield for us. They've got an interesting concept going on here, and the total deposited is $335 million. We are about halfway to the 750 million TVL. Okay, this actually looks good. I think we can drop some on the ETH chain for USDT because it's earning us 18%, and that is awesome. And the USDC doesn't look bad as well with the 10.5% APY, and we only earn upshift points here though, but that's alright because I'm not farming injective. And regarding WHype, since that is earning us points, 5 different protocols altogether, so maybe that's worth it. We also have another pool for HyperEVM for the UBTC, which is earning us 2.9% and also earns us points from 5 different protocols and is from the same strategist. Okay, so far so good. But Liminal though, people are very bullish on this. Let me just tell you that. Again, we have a very simple UX. We have the app section, standard and pro. Let's see what's in the standard. Okay, the 30-day APY is 10.83. That is amazing. And seems like this is not only available for Hyperliquid Spot and Hyperliquid Perp and HyperEVM, but also for Arbitrum, Base, BNB, and ETH. And what do I see? We do need an invite code to use this platform. Oh well, if I find one, I'm gonna drop that in the description. You can use this only if you have the invite code, so that makes makes sense. And I am bullish on platforms like that because they normally are very underfarmed. So that's nice. And by the looks of it, I don't think we bridge over to the Hyper EVM chain. We can directly deposit from the Hyper Core, which is the perpetual exchange. The minimum deposit is 500 bucks and the maximum is 250,000 and the max balance per user is a million. Again, another criteria that would disqualify, make this protocol very underfarmed. I get why people say this is bullish. Hopping onto the pro mode, it's similar until here, but scrolling down, we can actually customize the strategy. This seems to be the protocol's holdings. They're delta neutral, all these assets, and they hold stable coins. Okay, we can either choose the liminal strategy as it is, or we can fully customize this. I think I'm just gonna leave it on liminal if I find an invite code. So let's see how that would go. And then we have Harmonix, who is reshaping the yield optimization to minimize risk and maximize yield. That sounds bold. Launch the app. Welcome to Harmonix. We have the Hyperliquid USDC Hype Delta Neutral Vault with almost 6 million in TVL, 15% APY, and 2x the points for Harmonix. Here we have KelpDAO, that's the neutral wall. And what does this logo belong to? I have no idea, but we are earning 4 extra points here for Harmonix though. I like that they have a add feedback button. And also this seems like a interesting concept, but they're still cooking though. Oh, okay. So this vault that we've seen is on the Arbitrum chain, but that's earning us 15% APY. And but the Hyper EVM vault is earning 4.4%. And we also have a couple others, but I think it's plus EV to just stick with these two. We also have a stake feature, and obviously we can swap. Then we have portfolio and dashboard. This just shows the statistics. Oh, and totally forgot to go through the coolest one ever. Staked hype. So this is basically the stHYPE, and just look at this. What am I doing? This looks freaking cool though. So these guys are basically who's allowing us to do the stHYPE strategies. And I don't know if there ever will be a protocol token, but the word on the street is that it might be rewarding to be holding the stHYPE. So who knows? I'm gonna use it anyway while going through the strategies. And on that note, let me drop a few strategies that I'm going to follow. So one of them is definitely dropping some into the LPs here. And these don't look bad as well, but I just don't like the APR here. And also this has the highest daily fee, so that would be my choice. And Felix, I'm definitely not missing out on this. And with Hyperlend, I'm gonna get the stake hype, wrap it, and drop it in here. Same with USDE and also some stable coins. Liminal is something I'll definitely try to get my hands on to. Just make sure to join the Telegram, and whenever I get them, I'll be dropping onto the Telegram. And if you have your notifications turned on, follow the channel regularly, you'll be the first one to get it. And then Harmonix, I just love the UI. And also I just have to deposit some USDC and hype into this. So and I earn 3x and 2x the points along with Hyperlend and Felix. So that's a no-brainer for me. And also Upshift, it looks cool. And we still are only halfway to their goal of 750 million TVL. And I think I'm gonna deposit until this is reached so I can earn the 5x points and then I'm dipping out. Hyperbeat, again another good protocol that I'm going to follow. Valent is obviously another good one. And the main strategy here for me is going to be get one protocol, get the LST, that is the staked hype, L hype, any of that stuff, and then dropping that into the second protocol. Maybe introduce third one because mainly most of these are lending, borrowing, or the LPs. So I can definitely loop around with this. I've already shared one of the strategies earlier in the video, and then just farm it like this. And then all I'm going to do is pray and hope, and none of these protocols that's in between the chain cancels or dies, meaning something depegs or exploit or something along the lines of that, which would absolutely destroy my whole loop and my funds, obviously. So this is kind of a riskier strategy that you can follow, but obviously depositing only into one of these protocols and not linking it with the others, and depositing into the HLP wall and staking, and then just simple lending and borrowing would be the safer strategies to go with. And also in this video, I've only taken a bird's eye view. I still have to collect my thoughts and see where I can deposit, where I can earn the most points, and which one looks the most promising. And as I've already mentioned 1,000 times, I'm gonna drop the detailed guides, so you gotta stay tuned for that. And I would say we have about 6 months more or less to farm the Hyper EVM. So you still have time if you haven't already joined. Join along with me and join the Telegram. Bye.